those are some of the words of Roy Jones Jr. as he explains that Wladimir Klitschko is bigger, better power, better IQ than Tyson Fury, and if he can take the punches, why not come back? And let me counterpunch. I'm not sure about IQ. I know maybe experience, because Wladimir Klitschko has a lot of experience. He's been trained by some of the best, and to be fair, they both was trained by Emmanuel Stewart at one point, and Wladimir, has a lot of, he is a big guy. He's naturally big. He's naturally strong. Dr. Steelhammer is a reason for a reason, right? There's a reason for that nickname now. I would say this, for the idea of Wladimir Klitschko coming back, I'm all for comeback stories, but I'm also very aware of the possibilities of injury or permanent injury. And, we've became fond of people that have retired, like Andre Ward and Carl Froch and Wladimir Klitschko's, both of them, and, Roy Jones. And, these guys like that have retired and showed us excitement over the decades. And, for that, I'm glad that they are living lives that are worth living, that are enjoyable, without injury that lingers to the point where they can't enjoy their everyday life, moving forward, because, it's life after boxing for some people, right? So that's a good thing. But someone like Wladimir Klitschko that has been training probably since the Anthony Joshua fight, and that was one hell of a fight, and I would say, and I have to say, he went out with a bang. I mean, fighting AJ, dropping AJ in the 6th round, nearly stopping him in the 8th round, getting knocked out and stopped, should I say, in the 11th round, showed you a dynamic night of boxing, at the same time breaking a record and living up to all the hype and all the populated seats and all that stuff, right? So you have that factor. But then you have Wladimir also, working out and training every day. So if anybody, I mean anybody, if they had a chance of coming back to the sport and definitely making a splash or some kind of impact, it's Wladimir Klitschko, because I think he should have and could have fought longer, and maybe the time off has helped him, but then maybe the time has hurt him. And I don't know. I think it's one of those things that we have to find out if it actually happens, because this guy will be 49 years old. I think he's 48 or 49. One of them. He's old. But old, but in shape. You know what I mean? He spars regularly. I would love to hang out with Klitschko about 3 months. Just hang out with him and do everything he does, man. You know what I mean? I look up to him, especially being a person in the 40s. You know what I mean? And I'm younger than him, so I would love to continue what he does every day to stay in that perfect, or should I say that constant healthy routine. You know what I mean? So guys like Wladimir Klitschko inspire me. You know what I mean? But does he have what it takes to come back into the ring? I don't know. I think based on the style that he had, the jab and grab, the distance, and then attack from afar, and you know what I mean? And I think it might have helped him, but again, there's no way of knowing until he gets there. He will learn a lot about himself at that age if that happens. But it is a bold statement from Roy Jones Jr. saying that. But if, that's Roy Jones, you know what I'm saying? And so it is interesting for him to say those things about Wladimir and to give those type of flowers. But I think just because the era was bad for the Klitschkos, I don't think that you should ridicule the Klitschkos from not being great or not being Hall of Famers, and not having their own legacy, because they did have a lot of fights. And, and a lot of people look at them as meaningless fights. But the truth is, the Klitschkos really didn't have the competition that other people had in other eras. You know what I'm saying? Despite the style being, you know, exciting or not, they didn't have those people that were going to challenge them. That's why Tyson Fury, with the first fight, did make a splash, because he did something that other fighters couldn't do for the last 9 years. So yeah, there was a change in the heavyweight division, you know, and I think it was much needed, to be fair. But, you know, Wladimir coming back, he's in shape. Yeah, I don't think he's missed a step. You've never seen Vlad, you know, out of shape. So, you know, I would like to see him. It's worth the challenge, you know, because I think the most conditioned you are in, the most likely you are to take the punches at hand. Sure, there will be a level of rustiness, of course, but, you know, you would want to be a guy that trains every day and take a shot versus a guy that just got off the couch like Martin, Andy Ruiz, Bakali, right? So look at it that way. So yeah, why not? You guys tell me what you think of Roy Jones Jr. stating that, hey, Vladimir's big, he's strong, he's better than Tyson Fury, so why not come back? Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!